Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Brunswick. I'm Sienna Dode, a member of the Board of Trustees, and I'm delighted that you are joining us today for a very special service in recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day. Our service leaders are Ron Siviski, music minister at Sacred Heart Church in Yarmouth, and Cathey Cyrus from Uucb. Both members are part of the steering committee for Midcoast Indigenous Awareness Group, an organization of Midcoast, Maine residents who are passionate about raising awareness for themselves and others of local and regional Indigenous culture, history, and current concerns. Today, you will experience a variety of music, readings, and prayers. Again, thank you for joining us and enjoy the service.
Good morning. In September of 2017, the Brunswick Town Council passed a resolution to recognize the second Monday of October as Indigenous Peoples Day. In April 2019, Governor Mills signed legislation to establish that October Monday as a holiday in Maine. To give meaning to Indigenous Peoples Day, we must look beyond a day or a weekend of limited attention to the violence of our past or a passing interest in the richness of the culture of the people on whose land we now live. We must commit to deepening our awareness of the resilience and vital presence of First Nation people living their lives now throughout this state, this country, and this world, who carry in their cultures and their lives the wisdom of thousands of years of living in balanced relationship to the land and its creatures, who ask to be seen and heard, knowing we share a struggle to save our earth, our very lives together on this planet. Today, Midcoast Indigenous Awareness Group invites you to listen and to hear the wisdom of some of those voices in music, words, and prayer. Here are words of Robin Wall Kimmerer, professor of environmental and forest biology at the State University of New York, member of the citizen Potawatomi Nation, and known to many as the author of the book Braiding Sweetgrass. Her words. In the Western tradition, there is a recognized hierarchy of beings with, of course, the human being on top and the plants at the bottom. But in native ways of knowing, human people are often referred to as the younger brothers of creation. We say that the humans have the least experience with how to live, and thus the most to learn. We must look to our teachers among the other species for guidance. Their wisdom is apparent in the way that they live. They teach us by example. They've been on the earth far longer than we have been and have had time to figure things out. We need acts of restoration, not only for polluted waters and degraded lands, but also for our relationship to the world. We need to restore honor to the way we live, so that when we walk through the world, we don't have to avert our eyes with shame, so that we can hold our heads up high and receive the respectful acknowledgement of the rest of the earth's beings.
Hello and good morning. Today, in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day, which is on Monday, October 12th, the story I want to share with you today is a Native American tale about how connected we are to the earth and how grateful we should be for all of the earth's blessings. I hope you enjoy it. Giving Thanks, a Native American good morning message, written by Chief Jake Swamp and illustrated by Erwin Printup Jr. A note from the author. The words in this book are based on the Thanksgiving Address, an ancient message of peace and appreciation of Mother Earth and all her inhabitants. These words of thanks come to us from the native people known as the Haudenosaunee, also known as the Iroquois or Six Nations, Mohawk, Oneida, Cayuga, Onondaga, Seneca, and Tuscarora. The people of the Six Nations are from upstate New York and Canada. These words are still spoken at ceremonial and governmental gatherings held by the Six Nations. Children, too, are taught to greet the world each morning by saying thank you to all living things. They learn that according to Native American tradition, people everywhere are embraced as family. Our diversity, like all the wonders of nature, is truly a gift for which we are thankful. To be a human being is an honor, and we offer thanksgiving for all the gifts of life. Mother Earth, we thank you for giving us everything we need. Thank you, deep blue waters around Mother Earth, for you are the force that takes thirst away from all living things. We give thanks to green grasses that feel so good against our bare feet, for the cool beauty you bring to Mother Earth's floor. Thank you, good foods from Mother Earth, our life sustainers, for making us happy when we are hungry. Fruits and berries, we thank you for your color and sweetness. We are thankful to good medicine herbs for healing us when we are sick. Thank you, all the animals of the world, for keeping our precious forests clean. All the trees in the world, we are thankful for the shade and warmth you give us. Thank you, all the birds in the world, for singing your beautiful songs for all to enjoy. We give thanks to you, gentle four winds, for bringing us clean air to breathe from the four directions. Thank you, Grandfather Thunder Beings, for bringing rain to help all living things grow. Elder Brother Sun, we send thanks for shining your light and warming Mother Earth. Thank you, Grandmother Moon, for growing full every month to light the darkness for children and sparkling waters. We give you thanks, twinkling stars, for making the night sky so beautiful and for sprinkling morning dewdrops on the plants. Spirit protectors of our past and present, we thank you for showing us ways to live in peace and harmony with one another. And most of all, thank you, Great Spirit, for giving us these wonderful gifts so we will be happy and healthy every day and every night.
Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind 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 me, above and below. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me.
Wali Sabawil Pasitawen, Naga Dangakalugil, Indeliwas Ron Nicholas Siviski, Wallace Waltum Gizi Babochimidet Wedgie Wallazikal Pamgiskok. Nujayal Central Maine, Winslow, Quihio Zip Ginabek Dog, Bulox Nud Mitax, Wallastakawi Nud Nikoas, Dogay Nilwik Yarmouth. Walita Haas Indeli Gagims Walladeskwi Ladoiwagan. Good morning, all. How are you today? My name is Ron Nicholas Siviski. I am thankful I was asked to share greetings with you today. I grew up in central Maine, Winslow, near the Kennebec River. My father was Polish, my mother was Maliseet. Today, I live in Yarmouth. I am happy to be learning the Maliseet language. I stand before the flag of the Maliseet Nation, of which I am a member. I am grateful to be with you for today's service as we observe and celebrate another Indigenous Peoples Day. With my participation with the Mid-Coast Indigenous Awareness Group that shares a close connection with the Unitarian Universalist Church here in Brunswick, I almost feel like an adjunct member. Thank you for this invitation. I would like to start by sharing this opening statement. My path to discovery becomes more meaningful and joyous with the connection to others who journey to know and understand the real history of the land and its original people. By that, I refer not only to my path and story of discovery of native roots and where that has taken me, but how enriched I become by new connections with those who work with common purpose, those who seek to learn of who we all are, sharing our discoveries as we go. Some are undoubtedly tuned in right now. As I mentioned moments ago, I am of Polish descent on my father's side and Maliseet on my mother's. Unfortunately, my Maliseet grandparents, along with many other Indigenous of most areas, were subjected to much turmoil caused by the colonial French and felt the need to escape the challenging environment they were in and assimilate elsewhere. Not an unusual story for Indigenous families during these times. My maternal grandparents were from a small town called Cacouna, Quebec, a beautiful village on the southern shore of the mighty St. Lawrence River, about 150 miles east of Quebec City. This area is and was home to many Maliseet natives, as well as a substantial French population. There was much turmoil between the Maliseets and the French colonists, a familiar story of land being taken, with the original land dwellers being chased away and forced to flee. My grandfather, along with most of his family, left their chaotic and troubled homeland around 1915 to resettle at Tobique First Nation, a Maliseet reserve located in New Brunswick. Staying there for only a short while, perhaps a couple of years, he then went back to Cacouna, convincing my eventual grandmother, who was his next door neighbor when the family lived there, to elope and relocate to northern Maine, never to be seen by family again, as far as we know. They ended up on this, the first piece of their journey together, in the Presque Isle area, after losing their first 3 newborn children, and with probable superstitious thinking, my grandparents thought they needed to be married in a Catholic church, which they did, before moving on to Fairfield, Maine, where they finally settled and began a new life. No word of their true identity was ever revealed to my mother, the first child to survive, and the rest of her family, including my siblings and me. After decades of questioning by mother's family, searching for public records, and suspicion that her family was of Passamaquoddy descent, even long after my grandparents had passed, the puzzle was eventually pieced together by our family in the early 2000s. A final clue came to light when a cousin of mine visited a Maliseet exhibit at the State Museum in Augusta to find, while chatting with a native artist who were exhibiting, that our families were most likely related, as we had relatives by the same names. Not long after, members of my immediate family accepted an invitation to visit Tobique First Nation in New Brunswick, meet would-be relatives, and attend a powwow. This was a very significant day in our family history. What a beautiful and powerful memory all of us present had. Seeing the light come on, that day we were with our newly discovered Maliseet relatives and were recognized as one of the missing links in the family tree. Our Tobique relatives had been searching for us as well. A new journey began that day. With the realization of what we all had missed, I experienced a sea of emotions. At first, excitement, and then, for a short period, dismay, anger. I wondered why my mother's family couldn't have figured this out long beforehand. I made a decision to let go of the difficult feelings and chose to explore the gift that had been discovered, which led to understanding, forgiveness, and many new adventures. With the truths that are now known about the state of Maine's removal of Native children from their homes, along with the mistreatment, ridicule, and discrimination towards Natives that was common during these times, it became clear that my grandparents would have lived with the fear of the family being disrupted had they been straightforward about who they were. My mother was the oldest of 10 children. Her mother passed away when my mother was 21. My mother assumed the role of matriarch. Unfortunately, she and 4 other siblings never knew of their Native roots. But 5 other siblings who were still living did, and along with most of the family, became First Nation citizens of Wolastoqiyik-Wassebekuk, or Maliseets of the St. Lawrence watershed area, in 2005. This is the original homeland of all the family, including those who ended up at Tobique First Nation in New Brunswick. The tribe in Quebec gained federal recognition only in 1985, Because all of the Maliseet inhabited land had long before been taken by the French and the native population forced from their land, most members have lived scattered throughout Quebec, New Brunswick, Maine, and beyond. The footprint of the Wolastoqey-Quasi-Baguk tribe spreads from just east of Quebec City out to and including the Gaspé Peninsula, stunningly beautiful territory. My tribe, Wolastoqey-Quasi-Baguk, is one of 8 tribes making up Wolastoq or Maliseet Nation, ours in Quebec, 6 in New Brunswick, and 1 in Houlton, Maine. Wolastoq means beautiful and bountiful river, and Wolastoqey are the people of the beautiful and bountiful river. Our Nicholas family is of the Bear Clan, or Muwin-Wijik. The history, culture, language, and family lore, never known to some of the immediate family, became eventually my world. I am enriched, but I am also saddened, like many, by the grave mistakes and injustices inflicted on our native people. Now, when visiting the native homeland, where other branches of the family continue to inhabit, my ancestors tell me, "We're glad you're here." There have been times when I have deeply felt the ancestors' presence while visiting their homeland, and have also felt a deep connection to the earth, especially while listening to drumming at powwows I have attended. I recognize that the power of these experiences is an amazing gift. Robin Wall Kimmerer's quote, "The land knows you even when you're lost," gently paints a smile on my heart and provides a sense of comfort. What feels powerful to me and provides a sense of well-being and joy is my growth in cultural awareness, language, music, ceremony, exploring the land, and above all, the people-to-people connections and family. Being a trained musician and a lover of languages, I have enjoyed getting to know my native flute, a work in progress. I also enjoy drumming and chanting, as well as learning the Maliseet language. Opportunities to study the language locally have resulted in some beautiful and warm connections. I consider a core of local native, part native, and non-native language warriors to be family. It is at times an intellectual, emotional, and spiritual challenge having my feet in 2 different worlds. Thinking about and comparing the differences in these 2 worlds, however, produces personal growth for which I am grateful. And I do dream of all Mainers becoming better neighbors, sharing the land and its abundances, living peacefully together, learning from each other, and working to create a new and improved worldview. There's wisdom in the Indigenous mindset that we can all ponder today as we celebrate. Instead of thinking we have rights, we can choose to think that we are born with obligations to serve past, present, and future generations, and the planet herself. I presently feel a welcome that continues to bloom as I connect more and more to other local natives, and especially to non-natives who join together and ask, what can and should we do now? It is said that when we know better, we do better. While grasping and understanding the real history of our land, we find that there is no end to visions and opportunities for rethinking and reworking our world here in Chiwabanak, or the land of the Wabanaki, and beyond. It will take much, much longer than the time of our earth walks or lifetimes. It is encouraging to me to witness and be part of an increased Indigenous visibility here, along with the growth and advocacy. The work of Wabanaki Reach, Abbey Museum, Nabison, some very dedicated legislators, allies, and many more, and especially the Mid-Coast Indigenous Awareness Group, or MEAG, are all making significant contributions to our wider understanding and initiatives regarding Native history, legal processes, Native survival, and cultural revival. And with technology at our fingertips, the pandemic has resulted in the launching of new creative opportunities to gain information, participate in online events, and stay connected. As I continue to make up for all the years of being unaware, I feel less isolated, strongly encouraged, and supported, knowing that there are others nearby that seek to learn truths, support and propel forward the real narrative, and work to elevate Indigenous awareness. I was taken by a phrase Winona LaDuke, an Ojibwa and environmentalist, mentioned in her virtual keynote at this year's Common Ground Fair. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. What a testament to the Native resolve we can admire and celebrate today. Chiwaliwan. Thank you.
Again, the words of Robin Wall Kimmerer. Even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, gives us moments of wonder and joy. I choose joy over despair, not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift.
Chi Kikawasan Naga Gichi Neweskoman, Gamaj Waliwan El Echi Walagiskak. Our great mother and our great spirit, thank you for such a beautiful day. Gamaj na nulas waltamuldi ben Eliot, Pajipat Pazidawan. And thank you for here, bringing everyone together. Nulida Hazuldipen Eli Gazelmut Naga Walenkayuwat Psida Knijanuk. We are happy that you love and take good care of all your children. Wujekamine Weji Gizi Wujekamok Chuwapanakik Naka Psida Dama Skijinawak. Help us to help those Wabanaki people and everyone who is indigenous. Naga Guli Debunwen, Wejikizi, Waldakotik, Naka Nuwejukamanen, Pazita Hamaswinawak, Naga Pazite Gak Pamasuik, Kabite Pazite Gak Pamasuik Pen. And watch us closely so that we may do good and help every human being and everything that lives, to include everything that once has lived. Kachiwaliwan na Elimiliik, Pamaswagan, Pamigiskak, and thank you for giving us life today. Gamaj Nulas Waltamuldi Ben, Nit leich ascomiel Waliwan. We are thankful. Let it be that way forever.